I went inside to grab the horse to go saddle it up. He went to walk away, and then he finally turned around. As I got closer, pinned his ears back, spun around, started backing up real fast, jumped up, and hit me right in the head.
Kicked you in the. So he fired from the back end and hit you in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Okay. And is he easy to catch? Is he hard to catch?
Well, we started getting carrots, luring him with carrots.
Okay.
And so now it's a little bit easier. He thinks, oh, I'm going to get a carrot, so he'll come to you now.
Okay.
And
so basically we have to lure him with treats, right?
Yeah.
So now when you free lunges, when you're free lunging them in the round pen,
when you start to get him to run out, he'll go one time. And once he gets to a certain point where he don't want to run, he'll turn real fast and start charging. He puts his ears back.
Okay.
A new thing.
And it's a new thing.
It's fairly new. Okay.
Yeah, just a couple weeks now.
Okay.
And the last time we were there, he was about 2 feet before he actually got on top of me.
Oh wow. Okay.
Able to move.
Okay. Now before this, he was a pretty well-mannered trail horse. That
we went out on trail. He always has been kind of hard to catch.
Okay.
He'd just turn around and you get him face towards you, and then he would let you catch him. Lunging, I don't think anybody ever taught him to lunge, so he was just he wouldn't go one way, but he wouldn't charge or do anything weird. It's just he didn't get what he was supposed to do.
Gotcha.
And then January of this year, we were out on a trail
ride. So about 8
ride.
months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up in the hills, we were on the flat ground, got to the bottom, been about 3 hours.
Okay.
He bucked my cousin off, and ever since then he's been kind of getting worse and worse.
Okay. So a lot of aggressive behavior, of course, attacking you and then bucking and okay.
Two, there was a point probably about 4 weeks ago. We would go to brush him, and he would throw his butt at you really fast.
Okay.
And then that kind of got better. And then now, if you go too close to him, he'll throw his butt at you.
Okay.
In the back.
He used to let you saddle him, fine. He would ground tie. He would just stand there. He wouldn't move one way or the other when you put the saddle on. He was great.
So when was the last time he was ridden?
What
When was the last time you rode him?
Well, we took him out yesterday.
We walked him.
We walked
I think I
him.
rode him.
Because I got on him one time. As soon as I got on him, he started bucking, and I said no more.
So here's what I'm going to do. We already gave him a physical. I'm going to saddle him up. I'm going to work with him in the round pen. He's going to learn the basics of round penning. And then I'm going to climb on his back. And we're going to figure out what's going on. Sounds good?
Sure.
All right. We'll check his head. Yeah, he's out right here.
It's like when I'm out.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure he's off in his croup too, which we'll move into. Right there. Okay. So that's what I saw when he was batting that back right in. Okay. So we're gonna fix him real quick. Okay. So you can see why.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna start with his pole first. Now he's pretty good on the. Okay. Pretty good on this left, but he was really off on the right a bit. So go ahead and stretch him out. On a weekly or a monthly basis too. Any one horses. I don't care what it is.
Okay.
Palpate their back. A lot of people will use like a blunt object to scream up and down that vertebrae. All that does is tickle a horse, so it's not going to give you a very accurate. It's not going to give you a very accurate depiction of what's wrong with the horse. The best way to do it is you palpate it. Turn his head just a hair towards you. There you go. Right there. Okay, so there we go. Right there. Oh boy.
Can you feel it pop when you do that?
I got a vertebrae. And I look for any kind of protrusions or decline of that vertebrae. Now the other thing I look for now, you gotta understand, the lower lumbar of a horse, they will always protrude on any horse. So that's not if you think that the horse is out, it really isn't. So what you do, you want to put pressure on both sides of that vertebrae and you want to push. As soon as they deviate from it, that's when you know that something is going on over there. Then you got to figure it out, okay. Now if it's, a lot of the times, if it's protruding, you never want to do it right on top of it. You want either front or behind it. If it's protruding on top, then you go on top of it, okay? And you don't want to reprimand this horse too hard. He's in pain. It's just like us. When we're in pain, we're not the best people to get along with.
That is true.
Pull here. Pull. Pull. Wait.
A little respect for the space.
Exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I'm trying to do is just trying to let them know that you're not going to push me around, and I don't care what the situation is, you're going to behave yourself. You're not going to pull you around.
Absolutely.
The very thing I did was it really doesn't have to take a lunge whip or really get after a horse too long or too much. So once he realizes there's really not too much pain there, he'll kind of get better at it. And if he does everything that I asked him to do, simple thing like keeping his feet still, I'm going to reward him. Do not reward him for a job that he didn't do well.
Okay.
Now, has he had a back cinch on before?
Not that I know of. It used to be the best, like just standing there and never move.
Using this training halter. It has some, they call them blood knots, that are right on the nose band. And believe it or not, that little thing right there, he's able to control this horse and give me the leverage I need to control him.
Jim blood knot started about 150 years ago. Most of us call them pressure knots.
I like it because
Some
it's
of
not
us are a little
severe,
old school still.
but if you watch the pressure that it applies on both sides, watch this.
Okay.
So you can pull off and explain.
So
all
now the
settings.
thing that we want to, every time you turn him loose and lunging, he comes after you, right? Right?
That's what you've got belly, that belly button, yeah.
Or there it is.
You see that?
What was that?
You see better than that?
Back.
See the difference in the horse. It's getting there.
Now usually I work this horse till he comes to me. But since he'd already had displayed some aggressive behavior, I'm gonna go and get him. This horse has a lot of, I don't want to do it so I don't have to, kind of deal. So I'm teaching him. When I ask you to do something, you do it. Now, does he have a problem with standing still when you get on?
I didn't know how to travel.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be like the laziest horse of all. He'd be the last one in the pack, and he'd just wander around.
Horses can learn behaviors that are negative behaviors as well, and start out as a good reason.
Yeah.
Now, given the issues that this horse has had, I'm going to put some systems in place first before I ever ask this horse to move out. One thing I'm going to ask him is to go bend that nose, put that head there for me when I ask it to. I'm not going to jerk on him. I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure there. The first sign that he gives that he wants to, there you go. I'll let him release that pressure. I'm going to ask for a little bit more. There we go. Good job. A little bit more. There are a lot of people that put a lot of emphasis into bending a horse and flexing a horse, and they like to bring that nose to your knee. One, it's very uncomfortable for the horse. And people go, no, it's not. Well, let me bend your head and touch your elbow, and you tell me how that feels. I have never really put. It's good to have your horse bend, but that's just extreme. The most important thing you never teach a horse when you want to collect them, drop them at the pole. Okay. And if you want to teach a horse a good turn, to have a collected turn. A lot of people say, well, bend them at the pole and have the shoulder carry. Nonsense. Teach them to bend that neck. Okay? Then you get the nice smooth turn. It's like turning a car in a turn. Okay? So far he's pretty good. I'm gonna ask him to kind of come around here a little bit more for me. Good. I like using this O-ring snaffles. I'm not a big fan of using big, heavy bits in a horse's mouth. This basically is a one-for-one kind of bit, meaning for every pound of pressure I pull, there's a pound of pressure in the mouth. Shanks, if you use big shanks, too much pressure, that just multiplies. So if it's 3 inches, then it's 3 to 1. Right? Before I ever ask this horse to can, I'm going to turn him into this fence right here. That's my emergency brake. Anytime I'm working with a new horse or a young horse, a homebred horse, one of the first things you learn, I do this, you turn into that fence. I can push him right through it. So you're going to see a few things happen here. I'm going to ask him to turn to the fence. As soon as he turns that nose, I'm going to let him go. He cheated there. Yeah. Like right here, I'm going to pull him here and drop my reins and push him through. So we're going to do this a few times so he understands. When I pull your nose to that fence, you best follow. So now let's say if we're riding the horse and he gets the bucket. As soon as he wants the buck, I'm going to go. I just disengage this buck. Now he's a very people-friendly person from what I'm taking it right now because he always wants to run to people. And I'm never going to, I really don't want to turn him in the same place twice. Now with all these systems in place, it still doesn't mean he can't buck. You always got to prepare for the worst case. He's very late. His ears back.
Nice job.
Now I step back and step back. That respect, constant horses are very
I like listening to the same
good.
Good.
They're the dominant mare, pregnant mare on the herd.
Is it always the air? So they connect the boat. So Ty slapping his own leg. There
you go.
How could you tell he wasn't in pain? It was just learned behavior.
Because if he was in pain, he would have bucked me off. That's simple. This guy was out from Withers, pole, Withers down to his croup, and his croup was the worst. And that's where the thing for me turns his butt and come after you, right? So he's a good horse. He's a really, really good horse.
If he, like, if you're saddling him and he turns towards you with his butt, what do you do from there? Like,
You got to buy the video.
buy the video.
I'm joking. No. Just like everything else. If I was gonna, just like what we did with him earlier, I don't use a bit though. You know, use a lead rope. He listens well, and I'll throw that saddle pad on there first. But if you saw me when I was working with this horse, where I threw the saddle pad at, I didn't stand here.
Right.
I stood right here by his shoulder.
Okay.
Even if he turns, I still have a degree of angle I can get away from. Right. So I threw this, got him used to that first, both sides. And even when I threw the saddle, I stood here and I threw the
Right.
saddle up here. Doesn't matter if the saddle lane's crooked, but now he should be pretty okay with it. I don't think he's not gonna fuss too much. So I don't think he should be having any more problems. Okay, if he displays any more problems, guess what? He's probably out. He's in pain. He's screaming.
Go ahead and pull it off.